You hear the words Eid al-Fitr, and for over 1 billion Muslims around the world, they signal a day of just immense joy, gratitude, and community. But what is this celebration really all about? Today, we're going to dive deep into the meaning behind one of the most important days in the entire Islamic calendar. So let's ask the big question right up front. Why? Why do more than 1 billion people celebrate this specific day with so much raw emotion and happiness? What is the spiritual engine that drives this incredible global celebration? Well, let's find out. Okay, so the first clue is right there in the name itself. Eid al-Fitr. It literally translates from Arabic to the festival of breaking the fast, and that's exactly what it is. The official, joyous conclusion to Ramadan, that month-long period of fasting from sunrise to sunset. Now, here's something really cool. You can't just circle Eid on your calendar months in advance. Its timing actually depends on the moon. See, the Islamic calendar is lunar. So after 29 or 30 days of fasting, communities wait for the actual sighting of the new crescent moon. This moment, sometimes called the Night of Doubt, is just filled with anticipation. Once that tiny sliver of a moon is confirmed, Ramadan is officially over, and the very next day, the first day of the month of Shawwal, is Eid. But breaking the fast, that's really just scratching the surface. At its heart, Eid is a day that is absolutely overflowing with deep, profound spiritual meaning. I want you to imagine pushing yourself through a month of intense spiritual training. We're talking fasting, extra prayers, deep reflection. Eid is that feeling of finally crossing the finish line. It's that immense joy, that pride, that sense of relief that comes with completing a journey that was difficult but so rewarding. It really is the spiritual prize after a month of devotion. And this feeling, it connects to this really beautiful Islamic concept called fitrah. The name Eid al-Fitr is actually linked to this word, which refers to the pure, original, and clean state that we're all born in. Ramadan, with its focus on self-control and worship, is seen as a way to cleanse the soul and get back to that state. So Eid celebrates a return to that spiritual purity. And this whole spirit of gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's rooted right in the Quran itself. This verse instructs believers, after they complete the fast, to glorify God for his guidance and to be grateful. So, more than anything else, Eid is just a profound collective expression of thanks. So if you want to boil it all down, when you think of Eid, think of these 5 core ideas. First, profound gratitude for getting through the month. A deep sense of accomplishment. The hope for divine forgiveness for past mistakes. A powerful feeling of global unity with everyone celebrating together. And finally, a return to that spiritual purity we talked about. So how does all of this spiritual joy get translated into, actual actions? Well, there are several key practices that really form the pillars of the whole celebration. Okay, first up, and this one is super important, is something called Zakat al-Fitr. This is not just a nice suggestion, it's a mandatory charity that every Muslim who is able to pays for themselves and for their family. And the timing is absolutely critical. It has to be given before the big communal Eid prayer begins. So what does that actually look like? Well, the amount is usually the value of a staple food, like a portion of rice or dates. To give you a real-world example, in France, it's often set at about €7 per person. The goal here is simple, but so powerful, to make sure that absolutely no one is left hungry, and that even the poorest members of the community can join in the celebration with dignity. And there's this ancient teaching from a companion of the Prophet Muhammad that explains the beautiful, two-sided purpose of this charity. For the person who gives it, it purifies their month of fasting from any mistakes or bad habits. And for the person who receives it, it provides them with food and allows them to celebrate. It's a win-win. This spirit of social responsibility, it runs deep. There's this famous story about an early Islamic leader, Caliph Omar. He was walking the streets at night and saw fire. He went to investigate and found a mother boiling a pot of stones just to trick her hungry children into thinking food was coming, hoping they'd fall asleep. He was so moved that he immediately went to the treasury, carried a sack of flour on his own back, and stayed to cook for the family himself. That's the level of empathy Eid is all about. Now the centerpiece of the morning is the special Eid prayer, and getting ready for it is a whole tradition in itself. It starts with a full ritual bath called ghusl, then putting on your absolute best clothes and eating a few dates, always an odd number, to officially break the long fast. On the way to the prayer, which is often held outdoors, you'll hear people reciting the takbir, which means God is the greatest. After the prayer, everyone gathers to listen to a sermon, or khutbah. So once those core rituals are complete, the rest of the day just explodes into this incredible, vibrant tapestry of cultural traditions that look a little different all across the globe. And while the specific customs vary, there's kind of this shared code of conduct that unites everyone. The day is all about connection, visiting loved ones, exchanging gifts, and offering forgiveness. You'll hear the universal greeting Eid Mubarak, which means blessed festival. On the flip side, things like wastefulness and forgetting the poor are big no-nos. This isn't a liberation from faith. In fact, it's actually forbidden to fast on Eid to really emphasize that this is a day for celebration.
And this is where it gets really fun. You see how the core values are expressed in so many different ways. In Turkey, you'll see children respectfully kissing the hands of their elders. In Indonesia, you have the Mudik, this massive journey where millions travel back to their hometowns to ask forgiveness from their parents. Malaysia is famous for its open houses, where they invite neighbors of all faiths to share in the feast. And in Afghanistan, there's a playful tradition of egg fighting, kind of like playing Conkers, but with hard-boiled eggs.
And you know we have to talk about the food. Food is absolutely central to the celebration. From the sweet, milky vermicelli pudding called sheer kurma in South Asia, to the delicious nut-filled kak cookies in Egypt, and the stunning multi-layered lapis legit cake in Indonesia, every single region has its own iconic flavors that define the taste of Eid. So after all the prayers are said, the family visits are done, and the amazing food has been eaten, what is the real, lasting message of Eid? Well, the most important thing to remember is that Eid isn't a finish line. It's more like a spiritual graduation day. It's a joyful commencement ceremony, celebrating all the lessons learned during Ramadan. Discipline, empathy, gratitude, and it's designed to empower everyone to carry those values forward into the rest of the year. There's this incredible verse in the Quran that just captures the ultimate promise of Eid so perfectly. Verily, with every hardship, there is ease. After the hardship and discipline of the fast comes the ease and joy of celebration. It's a powerful reminder that sincere effort is always followed by relief, reward, and happiness. And this really leaves us with one final thought. The core values of Eid, gratitude, generosity, community, these are universal. They're not just for one group or one day. So the real question for all of us is, how can we carry that spirit forward, not just for a day, but in our actions every single day?